I have a dream. I got a dream. One day. We gonna work it out. One day. We gonna work it out. One day. We gonna work it out. I have a dream. Martin Luther King Jr. was a Baptist minister and social activist. He is best known for his role in the advancement of civil rights using nonviolent civil disobedience. He was born on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. Though they undoubtedly tried, Martin's parents could not shield him from racism completely. Martin Luther King Sr. fought against racial prejudice, not only because his race suffered, but because he considered racism and segregation to be an offense to God's will. He strongly discouraged any sense of class superiority in his children, which happened to leave a lasting impression on Martin. At the age of 35, Martin Luther King Jr. was the youngest man to have received the Nobel Peace Prize. He notes that he would turn over the prize money of $54,123 to the furtherance of the civil rights movement. Unfortunately, on the evening of April 4, 1968, while standing on the balcony of his motel room in Memphis, Tennessee, he was assassinated. The civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s was not concerned exclusively with interracial cooperation or segregation and discrimination as a character issue. Rather, the goal was a redefinition of American society and a redistribution of social and economic power. However, December 1, 1955 is known as the day the modern civil rights movement began. Rosa Parks, an African-American woman, was arrested for refusing to move to the back of the bus in Montgomery, Alabama that day. On March 2, 1955, though, a similar case had occurred. Claudette Colvin, a 15-year-old girl, refused to give up her seat to a white man on a Montgomery City bus, which was a violation of local law. She was arrested and taken to jail, and at first, the local chapter of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP, felt they had a great test case to challenge Montgomery's segregated bus policy. But then, it was revealed that she was pregnant, and civil rights leaders feared this would scandalize the deeply religious black community and make Claudette and the group's efforts less credible in the eyes of sympathetic whites. When Rosa Parks was jailed, a black community boycott of the city's buses began. The boycott lasted more than a year, demonstrating the unity and determination of black residents and inspiring blacks elsewhere. Martin Luther King Jr., who emerged as the boycott movement's most effective leader, possessed unique conciliatory and oratorical skills. He understood the larger significance of the boycott and quickly realized that the nonviolent tactics used by Indian nationalist Gandhi could be used by the Southern people of color. Martin also helped form the Southern Christian Leadership Conference in 1957, which was an organization that worked for civil rights. He also fought for and helped achieve mandatory equal voting rights in America for people of color. After the assassination of President Kennedy and the landslide election of Lyndon Johnson, Congress passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which outlawed racial discrimination and public accommodation in schools, along with the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which removed the obstacles people of color had to face in order to vote. As much as I would like to say that the color of someone's skin does not affect how people view them in this modern world, discrimination still very much exists. An example of an organization who is doing similar work to that of the organizations in the 1960s would be Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is a chapter-based national organization working for the validity of black life. It is an ideological and political intervention in a world where black lives are systematically and intentionally targeted for demise. They are working to rebuild the black liberation movement. We, as a nation, have come a very long way, and there's no reason as to why we should turn and take back all the progress we have made so far. To stop discrimination, we need to become much more aware of ourselves and others. We need to understand that some struggles we all face but experience differently depending on our skin tone. We must all learn to accept everyone despite their flaws and learn how to become tolerant towards those who irk and anger us. Fighting fire with fire will only cause more people to be burned. Nonviolent acts are the way to go. Where people who are against this type of belief show outrage and hate, show them compassion. In the words of Martin Luther King Jr., darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that.